Well, as 2026 began, many of the promotions have just started their first shows of 2026. So, for this one, we're going to be doing two reviews on this one. So, the first one is going to be Marigold with First Dreams, of course, the first show that took place. And this happened, of course, on the 3rd of January. It features, of course, championship matches such as the GHC Women's Championship, the Marigold Twin Star Championship, the United National Championship, and of course the World Championship. So we'll see if there's any title changes amongst all of them. And then of course we move on with New Japan Pro Wrestling featuring of course some championships. One of the amongst is the never openweight 6-man tag team belts in a Rambo match. We will see if of course the current champions retain or new ones will brace and plenty other things. But however, this one of course features the main event, Hiroshi Tanahashi, the Ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, making his final appearance in New Japan as he faced his old foe of many years. We're talking about the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, a guy who, as you all know, was the one who defeated Tanahashi many years ago when he was young, hungry, and determined to be the best. And now, will the history repeat itself, saying that he is the one who ends the Ace's long-standing run from here? We'll just have to wait and witness. And of course, we wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers. Let's get started. So, let's begin with Marigold First Stream. Marigold First Stream. This happened, of course, on the 3rd of January at the Ottawa City General Gymnasium. Now, I want to apologize to people. I'm sorry I have not been keeping up with Marigold that often. Basically, there's been some other priorities, involving other promotions that I've been following. So, glad I want to do this at the start of 2026. Now, we opened up, of course, with a 6-woman tag team match. We have team number 1, Yuka Yamazaki, Komomo Minami, and Kizuna Tanaka taking on Shino, Koko and Seri Yamaoka. Now, of course, nothing too special about this, but however, you guys notice Kizuna Tanaka and Shino, as you know, recently, not too long ago, a few months ago, they had a bit of a very impressive match. Of course, these are second generation wrestlers. Their moms were tag teams, partners, and that sort of thing. And now they're opposite again, but this time in a 6-woman tag team setting right here. But the real question is how this proceeded. And well, it was, of course, Yamaoka with a German suplex onto Yamazaki. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our next match, we do have another 6-woman tag team match. We have Nagisa Tachibana. Who else? Oh, yeah. Momoka Hazono and Nao Ishikawa. They take on Hummingbird, Natsumi Shozuki, and Kyuki Amori. I have to say, Natsumi and Kyoki have always been a very interesting team to look into. But however, with Hummingbird, fun. Nothing too special about this match, but in the end, it was Kyoki with the Hammersmith butterfly onto, of course, on Tachibana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Next match, well, this one's a very interesting, fun match. If you guys notice, recently Megaton has been involved herself in intergender singles match. If you guys remember, she managed to escape Minoru Suzuki by tapping out before Suzuki applied the God style power driver. Well, she faces another competitor, and this is one I did not anticipate. It was, of course, Kuroshio Tokyo Japan. Now, she felt, okay, at least he's not Murder Grandpa, you know. But, however, when it comes to him, you know how he is. And those who never seen him, he actually goes into the ring, gets everybody to sing and dance to his theme, and he pretends that he's going into the ring. He's like, nope, I got to go over here and say hi to my friends, that sort of thing. But once the music's over, he goes backstage, and he comes out, and he's in the ring. However, apparently this match ended in almost less than 1 minute after Kuroshio applied a roll-up, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. However, Megaton was requesting for a restart, and of course, Kuroshio's like, okay. So, well, the same result again, another roll-up. And then, of course, again, for the third time, and it's like, Kuroshio's like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I've already beaten her twice, but well, this time he actually did pull it up again for a third time, so he walked away with the win using the same old move, the roll up, which was simple. So, but at least Megaton did not got scared or anything like she did with Minoru Suzuki. Now, this next match is a rather interesting one. We have Chiga Goto taking on Utami Ayashida. Now, this, as you probably ask yourselves, why is this important? Chiga Goto has always been someone who I saw who's determined to grow up, determined to show she can take on the bigger matches. Because in the past, there were wrestlers who, during their actress roles like Miku Anu, who always believes that someone like Chika Goto will never reach up. She always felt like Miku Anu has always been holding her back, and now she's trying to show I can hang with the best, and that's exactly what she tried to do by taking on, of course, Utami Ayashida, who we all recognize as one of the best wrestlers in Japan, and of course, as both the World of Stardom champion and the MARIGOLD world champion. So that sets it up. But in the end, it was Utami Ishida with the German suplex, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our next match is the MARIGOLD Twin Star Championship, which is the tag team belts. And this one features a very interesting match. It's a Darkness Revolution showdown. For those who are not familiarized with that, let me explain. There's a faction called Darkness Revolution that originally started with, of course, Nagisa Tachibana, Chiaki, then, of course, Bozilla, then, of course, Miku, then Mitsu Matsui, and now Rhea Seto. But Bozilla is gone. And, of course, Megaton was in it, but she was kicked out for being the weakest link. And now, recently, not too long ago, Mitsu Matsui and Chiaki obtain these belts, and of course Rhea Seto and Nagisa Nozaki make the attempt. Now, of course, these guys are like nothing compare like Hate from Stardom, but they do have the same kind of tactics that they would do, using weapons, softening the wrestlers outside the ring. What makes you think that they wouldn't do the same thing to each other outside the ring? And of course, it did happen, but unfortunately, it was Mitsa Matsui that was able to pick up the win with the Falcon Arrow onto Rhea Seto. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. However, during the post match, they received a surprise visit from Seri Yamaoka and Shino. For those who don't know, they won a tag team tournament. So most likely they were there to issue the challenge when and where. So I'm pretty sure it's going to happen pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. Now, our next match is for the Marigold United National Championship. Victoria Yuzuki defends it against Shoko Kushino. As many of you don't know, Shoko Kushino is one of the newer girls that happened a couple of months ago, and not to mention she's a former singer, that sort of thing. But anyway, it was a pretty good match. But the one thing that really, I felt like was messed up is Yuzuki botched the victory shooting. The victory shot. If you guys don't know what that is, it's more like a move where you just trying to do a flip but in a twisty way. She kind of messed it up at least 3 times, and I don't know what she was thinking, but it didn't work. I don't know what really happened. I felt like she botched it up, but however, she was able to pick up the win and retain the belt. And I have to say that move really messed things up. If I was Victoria Yuzuki, find something new. Now, our next match is the GHC Women's Championship. For those who are not familiarized with this belt, this is a belt that's governed by the Global Honor Crown, which is the governing body that, of course, controls the belts in Pro Wrestling Noah. This is one of those belts. To give you guys a bit of context on this so you can understand, a couple years ago, Jungle Kiona mentioned something about if New Japan was going to have the IWGP Women's Championship, why not Noah have a GHC Women's Championship? And of course, the people involved in the first women's match in Noah, like Saori Anu, Mayu Hiki, and Natsu Surime, were like down with the idea because it's true. If they were going to have that belt, they should have that too. And of course, the witch came true, and it happened. And now Mayu is making the first attempt on this one against, of course, Takumi Iroha, who is she's familiarized. These two ladies know each other very well. For those who are not familiarized, Takumi Iroha originally came from Stardom until she was transferred to Marvelous, and of course she became the ace of Marvelous. But as for Mayu, well, she was the ace of Stardom, but now she's the ace of the Yoshi Wrestling. So you can tell that. But anyway, Mayu makes her attempt on this one, but these ladies did not hold any punches. They used everything they have in their arsenal to take them out, like Takumi Iroha with the running 3, many ways to take each other out, but it took every ounce of strength and effort from Mayu to not give up. And of course, she did not only 1, but 2 moonsaults, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, of course, Maya does her usual promo until, of course, later on we did see Utami Ayashida make her presence known. Now, it's no secret for those who are familiarized with her past. For those who may not remember, Utami Ayashida made the shocking waves when she defeated Mayu for the red belt back in Stardom. And of course, it's not like a rivalry or anything, but she's always been the type to pull it off. But in the end, of course, you probably could guess Tommy wants a shot at the GHC title. Most likely, yeah. And I wouldn't blame her if that's the case. But, yes. Now, let's move on to our main event, which is the Marigold World title. Mai Sakurai, as you all know, she has been Twin Star Champion with Mirai, the United National Champion, and now she's making an attempt against Miku Anu for the World title. So, I have to say, Mai Sakurai did a fantastic job. I mean, she really stepped up her game very well. And this is the kind of match you can tell Julia will be proud, knowing that no matter what, win or lose, she pulled everything she had against, of course, Miku Anu, who's been a force to be reckoned with for a long time. And ever since she went to Marigold, it sets it right there for everyone. But in the end, it was, of course, Miku Anu that walked away with the win with the driver. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, she retained the belt. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that Mai Sakurai will become the Marigold World Champion, and I'm sure Julia will be proud of her if she does it again, and she gets to have the chance for it. So we'll see what happens until then. But for now, we'll end things here with Marigold and move on to our last and final review, and that is, of course, New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom. New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 20. This is their first show of 2026 at the Tokyo Dome. Now, let's begin with the two matches involving the pre show. The first one we have, of course, the Young Lions, consistent of Matsutora Yasuda and Katsuya Murashima taking on Tetsuya Matsumoto and Shoma Kato. Now, of course, many of us who watch New Japan, you probably would guess that the Young Lions either they ended up one side would win, or the other side would be more of the okay, it's ended a time limit draw. But no, we have seen how much these guys have grown and significantly over the few months that we have seen them. But what's impressive is how it ended. Um, Murashima applied a Boston Crab onto Monotatsu, but instead, it wasn't just a normal Boston Crab. He kind of did everything humanly possible, going back and up and down, tried to put a little bit pressure and pain into Monotatsu, and just like that, he tapped out. It was completely over. Our next match is a title match in our pre-show. The New Japan World Television titles on the line. El Phantasmo defends it against one of his old buddies, Chris Brooks. As you all know, Chris Brooks recently attacked El Phantasmo in Cork and Hall, and of course, El Phantasmo did return a favor at DDT. So you can guess how that's going to be. And of course, these guys did everything humanly possible to take each other out by using every means necessary, using the CR2, which failed on both sides. But in the end, it was El Phantasmo that was able to pick up the win by applying the Thunder Kiss 86, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. So basically, it ends right there. Now, our opening match of the main card, of course, is the never openweight six-man tag team Rambo match. Now, for those who are not familiarized with what a Rambo is, it's simple. There's, of course, various teams in six-mans that will be coming in, and if somehow the current champions survive, they will continue on to hold on against other teams. We have guys from the House of Torture, of course, possibly TMDK and all that. So, but however, at some point, of course, the champions were eliminated, and it gave the spot open for anybody. But in the end, it was TMDK, consisting of Harley Jackson, Rohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. that won these belts. So, by definition, they are now one of the strongest factions, of course, in New Japan. So that's a good thing to watch. Now, we proceed on with the IWGP Women's Championship, also the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Saya Kamitani puts the Strong title on the line, and as Fushuri put the IWGP title on the line too. So basically, you can tell who is going to be determined to walk out as double, or well, one side double, one side triple. But Kamitani, as you know, has proven that she can bring pro wrestling into a much bigger scale, and that's exactly what happened. But here's the thing: we have seen the entire year Kamitani has been unbeatable. No one has able to take her down. Not even Tam Nakano was able to pull it off. Shuri, well, she did everything humanly possible, but she was amongst the few that were able to kick out of the Star Crusher, which is one of the deadliest moves that Kamitani has used for a long time. And Shuri was able to walk away with the win by pinfall, and just like that, 1, 2, brand new New Japan Strong Women's Champion Shuri, and also the IWGP Women's Champion. Now, of course, it was told later after Kamitani lost that she's going to take a break for a while and move break after that, because we know she'll be defending the red belt against Starlight Kid. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, our next match, this is a faction versus faction. We have, of course, the Unaffiliated and the War Dogs teaming up once again. We have Hiromu Takahashi, we have Drilla Maloney, Gabe Kidd, Shingo Takagi, and David Finlay taking on the United Empire. We have, of course, Cal Newman, the Great Khan, Hinare, who came back after injury, and then of course we see Andrade El Idolo, who is the financial backer of the United Empire. But the real question is, who is the fifth man? But out of nowhere, no one expected this. It was Jake Lee. Now, many of you may not know this. Jake Lee recently went to New Japan and joined the War Dogs and teamed up with Gabe Kidd, which put him out of action. And of course, Gabe Kidd, in the other hand, was livid. He cannot even believe it that this guy who he brought into the group would do this. And not to mention, it's no secret for those who are not familiarized with Jake Lee, he is a traitor. Remember, he came from All Japan Pro Wrestling, and then he ditched them after that to go to Noah. He does the same thing again in Noah, and now he's doing it in New Japan as well. So, needless to say, but man, these men did everything humanly possible to take each other out, to prove their dominance. As you know, the United Empire has not been itself ever since Will Ospreay was left New Japan. And then, of course, it was Jake Lee that made the final blow with the big break shot, which is like a big boot that you run to one side to the next. And Hiromu was the one who was taking the fall. And just like that, the United Empire proved their dominance. And then we see Francisco Cara, who we haven't seen for quite some time, make his return, standing alongside his brethren. So that means now that the United Empire are now taking their claim that they are the dominant force. But we'll see what happens until then. Now, our next match is a number one contendership for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Now, our current champion, who is too much of a coward, decided, I'm not putting this title on the line, I'm not doing it. Because he thinks he can do whatever he wants, however he wants. But this match is now determined in a four-way. We have, of course, Kosei Fujita, who is amongst the three who has not held this title. Then, of course, there's Taiji Shimori from the War Dogs. Then we have, of course, El Desperado, one of the best. And, of course, the biggest scumbag of all the members of the House of Losers, Sho. Yes, he is involved. Now, obviously, we know what Sho is trying to do. He's trying to ensure that this belt does not go outside of the House of Torture. But there was a good moment where, of course, Fujita, Despi, and, of course, Ishimori, well, let's gang up on him 3-on-1. But, of course, wherever, of course, he goes, Doki Kanemaru will try to ensure this belt goes directly to Sho. But, however, they were attacked by, of course, all their opponents' partners. Robbie Eagles showed up. So did, of course, Robbie X. And then, of course, after that, Kukai. So basically, they took matters in their own hands. But El Desperado took out, of course, Sho by applying a spike pile driver, and then after that, for good measure, a pinchi loco. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, he will face Doki, and I'm sure Despi will love nothing more than get retribution and payback for Doiki's insolence for what he did to him. If you guys remember, he actually had that Sweezel Sho get involved. But hopefully, Despi is well prepared. So we'll see what happens after that. Now, our next match is for the Never Openweight Championship. Evil defends it against Aaron Wolf. For those who don't know, Aaron Wolf is a former judo Olympic medalist. He actually won those belts. And of course, Aaron Wolf, who made his appearance doing second stuff, he decided to not sit idly by on Evil with his evil tensions for what he has been causing. And of course, he's been a thorn on the side of Evil for months. And not to mention, he has been a problem. And now the time has come. But of course, wherever Evil goes, the House of Losers will be there to follow. They've been involved themselves in many ways, of course. But of course, Wolf took them out completely using a judo throw. And then, of course, Evil uses powder into the eyes to blind his opponents. But thank God for Yano, Yo, and Wata, who decided, we're going to help them. We're not going to let House of Losers get away with it. And that's exactly what happened. But however, of course, we did see, of course, a amazing triangle move by Wolf onto Evil. And of course, Evil, he did not tap out, but the referee called it because he saw Evil was out. And I'm sure Evil is going to cry like a little girl over this. Like, he cannot believe he lost. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, our next match is for the IWGP World Heavyweight title and the Global Heavyweight title. So Yota Tsuji will put the global title on the line against Konosuke Takeshita for the world heavyweight title. So you can tell these men took everything to the limit for themselves. Basically, they, in fact, hold no punches. But there was a bit of a shootout ready to take place. I'm sure Takeshita was about the new knee strike, and Tsuji, of course, the Gene Blaster. But in the end, it was the infamous Boston Crab that sealed the deal for Takeshita to Yota Tsuji to put away Takeshita and, of course, become double champion. He is now the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Now, of course, he was about to do his little promo until he was attacked by Jake Lee. And it's no secret that Jake Lee has done this before. He has done it in Noah. So now he's going for the top title, obviously. Now, our next match is, of course, the main event. Kazuchika Okada taking on the Ace. Foes they have faced off each other for almost 18 times. And they have faced off beautifully either for title or other things. But this will be the last match. And I have to say, they did everything humanly possible to take each other out. Even Tanahashi did. And not to mention, Tanahashi tried to do whatever it takes to survive, to ensure he walks away with the win on his retirement in Tokyo Dome. But however, it was not enough until the Rainmaker was applied. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And then, of course, Okada made his promo in the post-match, saying some words to him and all that. And, of course, the ceremony being ends where we see many people making their presence known. Like from Bushi Road, we did see, of course, what's his name? Keiji Muto. Many of you know that Tanahashi learned a lot from him. We did see Jay White, Will Ospreay, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega. We did see Shibata, of course, who was there too. Many of you guys know these guys were part of the Three Musketeers. It was, of course, Tanahashi, Shibata, and Nakamura, as you probably know. And then, of course, we did see one person we didn't anticipate to see, and that is Tetsuya Naito. So he told them adios, and they did the little fist bump, that sort of thing. And that's how the whole thing ends. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. So it was a lot of fun. So I think that's pretty much it, what we have for all of you. So let's end it right here and move on to our last and final thing, news updates. All right, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin with upcoming events. Now, this is information coming out for, of course, Las Vegas, which is WrestleMania week for many of you that know this. Now, it was already announced in New Japan that they will be in Las Vegas on the 16th of April for Death Vegas Invitacional, basically an invitational. I'm not sure if this is Despi's show, if I'm not mistaken. Now, however, many things for WrestleCon and the Collective have been announced regarding WrestleMania week, in case anybody needs to know ahead of time. Now, as you know, WrestleCon will have the March Hitchcock Memorial Supershow on the 16th of April at the Horseshoe. So that's where it's going to happen. So they haven't announced what it is, but this is where they get many wrestlers either currently signed with any independent promotion or probably like TNA or places like that. So take a look at it. Now, of course, for the Collective, there has been an announcement for 2 GCW events. The first one is Joey Janela's Spring Break. That will happen on the 17th of April, and Joey Janela himself will be there too. And of course, Effie will be there too for the Effie Big Skate Brunch on the 18th of April. So that's pretty much it for upcoming events. Now, for many of you guys know this, B-fab has sustained some injuries and she was afraid to continue on at the WWE Holiday Tour. So basically, she decided not to get involved. So I understand because you don't want to make your injuries even worse, and that's okay. Now, many of you may remember there's been talk about the possibility of having Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Tanahashi for his retirement. This was something that was already been discussed, but however, it failed to make into reality. So, but Shinsuke Nakamura did have something to say regarding about that, and this is something that, of course, he had to say. I believe I did everything I could. But the fact is, I didn't come to pass my mean. There was another mission assigned me. That that's the only way I can take a look in its own way. It's dramatic, I suppose. Once Tanahashi's son retirement was decided, while exploring the retirement match, despite a long association, I felt a connection we haven't had before. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. From now on, as president, I hope we energize not New Japan Pro Wrestling, but the entire Japanese wrestling scene. So yes, they felt like they never finished what they started, for many of you guys to know. And it's understandable. And I think that could have been a done deal for them. Now, many of you may heard this already. Brinley Reece, who may have you guys seen on NXT Evolved, well, apparently she is announcing her departure from WWE, and this is what she had to say. After 3 years, I'm officially closing the chapter wrestling at WWE. This decision came after navigating personal health challenges and serious injuries that required surgery last year. It was an easy choice, but it was necessary one, choosing my health, my body, and my future first. That choice alone has been the one of the most powerful lessons this journey gave me. The last 3 years have given me truly a life changing. WWE pushed me in ways I never imagined, taught myself resilience, discipline, and belief, and allowed me to grow not only as a wrestler but as a person. Every setback, every win, every long and hard moment shaped who I am today, and for that I am so grateful. To my supporters, you are the reason I kept going on the hardest days. Your messages, encouragement, love, and belief in me never went unnoticed. You stood by me through injuries, healing, growth, transformation, and I carry that support with me forever. I love you more than I can say. This isn't an ending. It's a redirection, and proud of everything. I give this chapter and every more exciting for what's ahead. Thank you for being part of my journey. The best is still to come. So yes, so basically it's like saying this is that her journey as a wrestler is not over yet. So, but it's understandable, guys. You got to remember, if you guys follow WWE, there's been a lot of injuries that take place all the time, and of course, it takes a lot of time and effort to get back in the ring. And she doesn't want to sustain injury, so whatever she's gonna do next, that's on her. So, but she never mentioned anything about retiring as a pro wrestler. I mean, you got to remember, these guys work a lot harder than any other promotion. It's because, of course, they have the PC Center and she's been training to become a pro wrestler. But it's understandable. Hopefully, we'll see her down the line in the future. So, right now, we're done. Let's call it a day. So, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you probably know, we continue with more with New Japan with New Year's Bash. So, as you probably can guess, a lot of things. If you guys don't know what this one is, we have a lot of surprises that are taking place. So that's one of the things that I enjoy watching this. So stay tuned for that. But as of right now, I haven't decided what I'm going to do next. There are some Yoshi events that I haven't got the chance to catch up with. I may consider doing those um, maybe faster or decide which ones I want to do. So stay tuned for that. But as of right now, we'll end things here. And I will say this, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.